the public's business. That's why criminal records are public.
Stop cyberbullying Ari!
Ari, Ari, Ari. Ari, oxen free. All in with Ari. You know, I think at this point, this is going to be my last lengthy video about All In With Ari. Because, or at least it'll be my last lengthy video in quite some time, unless I see some other things that I feel are like, man, I really want to respond to that. But over the most part, I feel like at this point, it's like kicking a dead horse into the ground. Everything's pretty much been said about this girl. And plus, there are a lot of other YouTubers that have kind of made a point to respond to everything she posts, whether it's a community post or a video. And they respond in great lengths. You know, it's sometimes like 2-hour long videos and stuff like that. So there's enough people kind of, you know, on the All In With Ari case or story, if you will. You know, but I do want to say this, okay, you know, she made a post recently, a post explaining the situation with the interview she was supposed to have, the Rude Jude interview. And she also talked about a seizure she had. She fell out, which is obviously that's not good, right? It's not good if she's hospitalized and things like that. And I gotta say, and I said this already, I believe her in terms of what she said about the interview. You know, she was tricked, she was trolled. You know, that it happens. You know, and I bet any amount of money people they saw her channel grow like that, so people probably wanted to troll her and kind of add to the drama by offering her like certain things, maybe job offers, and like, hey, come on, do interviews with her, with us. And then they flip script on her and just kind of like ignore her and act like they don't even know her. So, you know, obviously that adds to the drama of her channel. They just want to kind of like stir the drama. In my opinion, I don't know. Hollywood's a very odd place, and everybody knows that, you know. So no doubt in my mind that she was duped in that area. And then sure enough, you know, as soon as it was revealed that she wasn't going to be on the show, you know, everybody jumped at it. You know what I mean? Everyone, oh man, she lied, she pathological, lie this, lie that. And I gotta say, you know what? There was literally no incentive for her to lie about something like that. And I've seen a lot of videos of people trying to explain it. Oh, she's a pathological liar. That's what pathological liars do. They lie for no reason, even when there's no incentive. Okay, yeah, pathological liars, no doubt about it. They lie about things that are ridiculous to lie about, things that you don't really need to lie about. Like, for example, but the thing about, okay, the pathological liars, when they lie about something, they're going to lie with the intention of still being, like, hoping, with the intention of trying to get away with the lie. They're just not going to make some elaborate lie knowing damn well it won't be believed. You know, yeah, they're going to lie about things that are, like, kind of silly to lie about, but they're not going to do it unless they truly believe there's a good chance that the lie will be believed. Like, for example, if I say, oh, I had pancakes in breakfast for pancakes and breakfast. Oh, pancakes and eggs for breakfast today, right? Now, I didn't have pancakes and eggs for breakfast today, but I'm lying to you right now and saying, man, why would you lie about that? Well, it's a stupid thing to lie about, but there's a good chance that I can get away with that lie. How would you know that I really did not have pancakes and eggs for breakfast? Sure, it's dumb to lie about, but it's a good chance you can believe me, and it's a good chance that I will not be caught in that lie. That's what a pathological liar is. It's gonna there's someone that's gonna tell a lie, and yeah, it's gonna be a silly thing to lie about, but there's gonna still tell a lie that's more or less believable, and there's a chance that they will not be caught in any way. I can sit here and say, oh, my underwear is blue. Now, my underwear is not blue. I know if that's too much information or whatnot. Hey, just roll with me here. Go with me here. But the thing is, unless I just reveal the color of my underwear right now, how would you know that I'm lying? You won't. I can get away with that lie. Now, with Ariana, let's go back to this interview situation. Why the hell would she lie about something like that, knowing damn well there's no chance of her ever getting away with that lie? To say I'm going to be on that show knowing damn well it won't happen, that's silly. You know, especially when she's gone to such great lengths to try to win over the public, to try to make herself seem like not a liar, you know, seem like she's not a scammer, seem like all of these things, you know, because there's so many accusations and, you know, and perceptions about her as is. She's not going to make it worse. You know, no matter, you know, that's the one thing about liars. Even if they are pathological liars, they're not going to intentionally try to add fuel to the fire by making it look like they're even bigger liars than what people already believe them to be, you know? So, you know, you have people, and I feel bad for her now because, you know, she's pissed off so many people from various communities. You know, she's pissed off the dads, she's pissed off the moms, the soccer moms. You know, she's pissed off the old ladies, the grandmas, you know, the cat ladies. You know, she's pissed off the small YouTubers. You know, the small YouTubers like, yo, man, what the fuck? How'd she get so famous like that? You know, her channel just took off, bro. It took off. Yo, 80K plus, you know what I'm saying? Like 87,000 in like 3 weeks or some shit. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. And I want to start, you know, I want to say this too. The one thing I like about this whole story is I've stumbled upon so many small YouTube channels, and I think that's awesome, you know, because small YouTubers, especially really talented ones, they deserve to be put out there. It's crazy that a woman like this can just blow up just from talking to a screen, you know what I'm saying? A camera. Now, it also ties in, it leads you to this, to the topic of how the hell does YouTube even work? How the hell does going viral work? Because there's all of these articles and videos about what you must do in order to grow your channel, in order to get views. You gotta have a wonderful thumbnail. You know, you gotta have fancy camera and lighting angles and audio and all of these things that lots of small YouTubers do. But then you have a case like this, a random girl in a car talks to the screen and just blows up. Meanwhile, everyone that's doing X, Y, and Z in order to grow their channels, they can't get their channels to grow. Makes absolutely no sense. You know, and everyone's like, oh, the algorithm. Let me talk about that. Listen, algorithm is a mathematical term. It's a mathematical term. You know, add this, subtract this, multiply this, divide this, you'll get this. And you know, you follow these steps and each time you'll get a particular result. Consistency. That's what math is consistency. Well, YouTube does not work like that. You know, everyone wants to keep on playing on this thing like, oh, she's a pretty girl. That's how, no, it takes way more than looking pretty to blow up like that. I can see maybe if she got like 1,000 subscribers or 5,000, but to get 80K like that, that's way more than looks. There's something else going on there. Because in order for people to even click on your videos, you gotta get a push from YouTube. She ended up in a lot of people's recommendations, people that don't even watch Vanlife videos or homelessness videos, she ended up in their recommendations, you know what I'm saying? So if going viral was that easy, and if it was as easy as X, Y, and Z, damn near everybody be going viral. You know, there's a lot of pretty girls out there, they ain't going viral like that. So give me a break. You know, everyone keeps on talking about she's pretty. Yeah, of course, she doesn't look bad, but she ain't the hottest girl on a goddamn planet. There's plenty of girls. If that's all it took, there'd be a lot of people going viral in general. Not just girls, but people in general. Because apparently all you need to do is have a great thumbnail, talk about trending topics, and do X, Y, and then you'll go viral. Please, if that was the case, everybody would be rich going viral. If that was the case, everybody would have been told they bosses to fuck off. They 9-to-5 bosses to fuck off. Everybody would have been told they bosses to suck their dick. You know what I'm saying? And wouldn't nobody be working at their fucking jobs and everybody can just go viral like that? Oh, all you gotta do is talk about trending topics? Okay. All you gotta do is post a cool thumbnail? Okay. All you gotta do is, please. Think about it. That's not even realistic. They would never, the government or whatever, whoever pulls strings, they would never set something up to where everybody can just be going viral and getting rich off fucking YouTube. It don't work like that. So I refer to it as I like spin the wheel. That's what I look at, that's how I look at YouTube and going viral and getting views and things like that. It's like spin the wheel, man. You make a video, you post it, and boom, you spin the wheel and just pray that it lands on the grand prize. That's how it works, you know? So all let's talk about you, please, you know. So that's one thing I kind of want to talk about is how she went viral and why she went viral. Please, it takes more than looking pretty to go viral, you know. Now to go back to a point that I was about to touch up on earlier, she's pissed off a lot of community. She's pissed off moms, dads, soccer moms, little old ladies in rocking chairs, you know, that's just sitting back, shaming and critiquing. You know, it's a lot of people out here that live for just sitting back, browbeating and critiquing people. And the thing about Ariana is she brought all this on herself. She brought all of this on herself. And you know, and it's a shame because at this point, no matter what she does, people are just gonna dissect it and poke holes in it and nitpick it to the extreme. It's like little things, like normal things that wouldn't be a problem for most people to say. It's like people are using against her. Like I know in one video, she was all like, she was looking at some food and she was all like, oh my God, I'm starving. And I saw one YouTuber, she's like, you're not starving. Homeless people are starving. How dare you say you're starving? It's like, whoa. Like everybody just nitpicking everything. It's like, come on. Everybody watching this, everybody out there has said they're starving at least once in their life. It's a colloquial term. It's a very common like phrase people say. It's like hyperbole to illustrate how hungry you are. Most people say that. It's okay to say that, but the fact that Ariana said it, it's the worst thing in the world. You know, Ari, she put herself in this position, you know, and the thing is, I no matter how bad the situation is with Ari, I don't ever want to let it get to the point to where I'm judging her with the eye that's not objective. You know, I still want to be objective. I don't want to be so filled in. How could you, bitch? How could you? You know what I'm saying? You child abusing, whatever the hell you are or may not be. You know what I mean? Some people, they're so filled with that intensity, and I'm a very intense person myself. But I still like to feel that regardless of how heated I get and fiery I get, I can still keep a rational, logical, objective mind. Whereas people, they're not doing that. It's like they're critiquing her on all kinds of stuff. Okay, what's another example? Ariana, she made a comment about how the 9-to-5 life isn't for her. Well, guess what? A lot of people don't like 9-to-5 jobs. You know, a lot of people fucking hate they 9-to-5 jobs. But yo, I saw another YouTuber, she talking about, oh, how could she say that? She's so ungrateful. Like, get the fuck out of here. First of all, I applaud anybody that's able to escape the matrix. Anybody that's able to escape the 9-to-5 grind. Fuck the 9-to-5 grind. I don't like the fucking no 9-to-5. Who the fuck like 9-to-5 work? Be grateful. Hey, yo, you can be grateful for the money, but you don't have to be grateful for how you being treated at them 9-to-5 jobs, because let's be honest. 9 times out of 10, you clocking in and you just being harassed and people pissing you off, fucking with you, gossip about you, people backstabbing you. That's the 9-to-5 grind. That's the 9-to-5 grind. In a nutshell. Alright, so you can't convince me that the 9-to-5 is, you know, because some people like to say that she needs to be an adult, you know, and work a 9-to-5 shop like everyone else. And shut the fuck up. You know, most people that say, oh, be an adult and work a normal job, that's just a snotty, grandiose, uppity way to compensate for living a mundane, boring existence. That's what that is. Fuck a 9-to-5. I don't want to work no bullshit ass 9-to-5. You know what I mean? Because, and then everybody's like, man, listen, man. Anybody that I've ever worked with, they better be, you know, because one girl, she said, oh, she should be grateful for having that 9-to-5 guy. Yo, anybody I ever worked with, they better be grateful that I didn't sneak up on them in a parking lot and crack their ass with a brick. Be grateful I didn't sneak up on you and get something off on you. Be grateful for that. You can be grateful for shit. Be grateful when I don't whoop your ass after hours. I don't sneak up on your ass. All the 9-to-5 grind is just pure harassment. So why wouldn't a person be happy that they escaped the 9-to-5 grind? that being said, I mean, you can be grateful for a 9-to-5 job, but that doesn't mean you don't have to strive towards something better or something else you want. You know, a lot of times people work 9-to-5 jobs, but that's not something that they really want to do. You can appreciate the 9-to-5, but still strive towards something better than that, or something that'll probably make you happier. You know, so there's nothing wrong with that, you know. And if you're working a job that you don't like, you know, work it until you get into the position to quit, and you're able to tell your boss to fuck off. You know, be grateful until you can give them the old fuck off. You know, and Ari, you know, she's definitely in a tough spot right now, and it's obvious she's trying to do the whole maybe if I don't respond, they'll leave me alone, you know, and like sometimes that works, you know, that definitely works sometimes. You know, you don't always have to go around responding to every allegation and accusation and rumor, you know, said about you. You know, a lot of times the best response is no response. You know, but a situation like this where there's a paper trail, you know, of documents illustrating legitimate wrongdoing on your part, that's different. You're going to have to respond to that, you know, because you're going to end up in a situation to where a whole bunch of people are going to be pressing you on it, and that's what's happened to Ari. It wasn't until all of the documentation surrounding the allegations came out, you know, and obviously proving these allegations to be true, that's when you saw the shift in all the comments. It went from 100% positive to like 90% fucking negative, dude. It was, oh my God. It was just a total energy shift, you know, because it went from more than just allegations and rumors at that point, you know, and when it gets to that point, you're going to have to say something, you know, because, you know, it's going to overwhelm you. And that's what's happening to her right now, you know, and she needs to address it. You know, she'll be, and sometimes she calls herself addressing it, but she really doesn't. You know, she'll kind of beat around the bush, and then she'll do that little ridiculous laugh, like, oh, well, like, knock it off. For once, be serious. Knock it off with that stupid, you know, guilty, nervous giggle or whatnot. You know, it looks like you're not taking anything serious or not, you know what I mean? It's like, come on. And, you know, as far as, you know, you got some people, they're saying, well, you know, people are like stalking her now. It's beyond exposing her now and things like that. Hey, man, people don't like it when they feel like someone is doing some bad shit and getting away with it, you know? So, yeah, people are pressing her. They're going to keep making videos about her. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But when a whole bunch of people are hell-bent and on a mission to right a wrong, so to speak, they're not going to let up. They're going to keep applying that pressure. I mean, that's essentially how you stop people. You keep applying pressure. And that's what's happening. You know, that's why her channel has been losing subscribers at the rate that it's been losing, you know, dropping because of the constant videos being made about her. So all of this constant posting about her, it's actually working in many people's favor, because she's constantly losing subscribers, you know. So it's definitely working, all of these, you know, and it's going to continue to work until Ariana decides to start addressing the things that people actually want to see her address. It's just the way it is, you know. You know, no doubt about it, Ariana, she wants to tell people to leave her alone, leave her alone. She's been telling that, you know, she's been saying, leave me alone, you know, why don't you just go somewhere else? She wants to tell the world to fuck off. I know that's what she really wants to do, and I get it, man. Yo, I'm all for wanting to tell the entire planet to fuck off, or people fucking with me to fuck off, you know what I'm saying? But in this situation, it's like you're not eligible for the fuck off pass. You're not eligible for the leave me alone, you know, the leave me alone card, or the leave me alone pass. You know, you're not eligible for that because you're going around doing bad stuff, you know? Like, if you're doing the right thing and you don't owe nobody nothing, like, say for instance, if, you know, you're being like harassed at work or something, and if you're in a position to where you can quit that job, then yeah, quit, and you know, don't even give an explanation. Hell, just walk out. You know what I'm saying? You don't owe that job nothing. People see people sitting around messing with you, and the same thing goes for schools or bad relationships. Yeah, if you're doing everything you can to be the best person that you can be, you're not harming anybody in any kind of way, and people are just messing with you, yeah, you know, hightail it out of there. You don't owe nobody no fucking explanation, you know. But in a situation where you know there's a lot of wrongdoing on your part, you know, in particularly the situation with her kid and, death, and she got a long little rap sheet. A lot of people want answers. You don't get to tell people to fuck off. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to tell people to leave you alone. You're not eligible for that card. You can't play that card. And here's another thing too. Let's be honest. Ronnie Ann Spur, or Ariana, she hit the YouTube lottery. The 80,000, plus in less than 3 weeks is unheard of. She hit the lottery. And she was getting a lot of flack for going to fancy hotels and buying all this food and going to Mercedes-Benz. But even myself, I was kind of giving her some shit for that. But let's think about this. If any of us hit the lottery, what would we do? We'd be doing the same stuff. We'd be going out buying cars, checking into hotels, eating fancy foods and stuff. So let's be honest here. Let's be real. It's not that, she's doing all these things. I think what it is, again, it's the way she got all of this. It's how she obtained all of this success, if you will. Because one thing that's constantly been thrown out by her and people that's really, really defending her is the word hater. Hater. Think about the way in my first video I ever made on her, I said people like seeing a tragedy. People love seeing a downfall. So whatever you're trying to promote yourself as or showcase, you have to really make sure that's authentic, and there are no holes in it, because people like seeing a downfall and a tragedy and all this and that. And that's true. I stick by that. Humans, most earthlings, love seeing people be destroyed. We love tragedies. But inversely, there are a lot of people that also love miracles. They want to see a fairy tale. They want to see the underdog succeed, to thrive, you know what I mean? To make their way up to the top, And a lot of people felt that way with Ariana. A lot of people were on her side. A lot of people were giving her the benefit of the doubt. These weren't lots of haters. Most of the people that are quote-unquote hating on her now, it took a while for them to get to this point where they're criticizing you. They were trying to empathize with you, but you keep dodging and dodging and dodging. Lots of people want to see fairy tales. They want to see success stories. Not everyone loves to see a tragedy, but when you when you gain success by way of scamming and deceit, yeah, people are going to have a problem with that. That has nothing to do with hating. See, let me tell you something about hating. You know what a hater is? A hater is someone that looks at someone else. This person is doing the right thing. They're taking care of business. If they have kids, they're doing everything they can for their kids. They're staying out of trouble. And then you got some asshole on the sideline just heckling them. Oh, you're ugly. You're dumb. You're still just dumb shit. It's like this person is minding their own business, doing everything right, and you're just fucking with them. That's what a hater is. A hater is someone that's just fucking with you. Fucking with people just out of nowhere. And I understand that. I get it. Ariana, I do. I understand. I've seen so much in this world. I've experienced so much in this world. I know how it is when a person could just be sitting there trying to do the right thing, call themselves being nice, and just people just fucking with you. Happens all the time. Happens in all walks of life. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're in the hood, whether you're in the suburbs, the countryside, the straight grind ghettos, whatever, man. It happens everywhere. That's how people are. And people are monkeys. People ain't nothing but fucking chimpanzees. They just want to fuck with people. Kind of like what I said earlier about the 9-to-5 grind. You clock in, it's just a matter of fucking with people. Most of y'all watching this right now probably clock into y'all 9-to-5 jobs and just be fucking with people. Be gossiping about people and shit. That's the nature of the beast known as man. So I get it, Ari. I understand that there are people that just love fucking with people. And I'm sure that there are some people in this large sea of people coming at you that are coming at you purely because they just like seeing people suffer. And they just like criticizing people. But there are lots of people that are coming at you not because they enjoy being mean or enjoy criticizing people. It's because you've given them a lot of valid reasons to give constructive criticism, to kind of turn their face like, man, what the heck is wrong with this? You've given people a lot of valid reasons. That's why it was so hard for people that wanted to defend you to keep defending you. It's like a lot of things ain't adding up. And you keep on saying you've been transparent, you've been honest. No, you haven't. Because you're not even addressing, well, obviously you're not addressing the big elephant in the room, which is your son. And I get it. You're claiming you need your time, and that's a personal to you. You know, I understand, I do. But the thing is, the way that looks, okay, for example, if someone's loved one died of cancer and it hit them hard and they just need some time to talk about it, they don't want to talk about anybody or talk to anybody about it, I can see, all right, just let that person have their space and let them open up when they're ready. But it's different because you technically did bad shit. You got a little rap sheet on you. You've done so much like what the fuck shit in your life. You don't get time to think about it and prepare yourself and get your heart ready. What the fuck? Because in most people's eyes, that looks like you're just thinking of a convenient excuse or a lie, to try to cover up something, But I don't know. I'm just saying that's just how it looks in other people's eyes when you wait so long to address a very serious issue like the one with your son. And you're going to have people, and I'm going to talk about that too. It's a lot of people talking about it's nobody's business. This is nobody's business. That you can fuck off. Let me tell you something. The safety of children is everybody's business. It's everybody's business. I don't even care. I don't care if a little infant is mine or not. If I see a little infant, what can an infant do? See, because the thing is, make no mistake about it, I'm a textbook hardcore misanthrope. I'm a misanthrope. I don't like people. I can't stand people. But there's one type of person, there's one sector of human beings that I have love for. And that's babies, that's infants. Children. I have love for children. That's the only collective group of people that I will come to the defense of, like across the board. Because I mentioned in another video about the rift that you had with your grandma. A lot of people were giving you shit because you threatened to slap your grandmother or something. And I was on the fence of that because I get it. I explained in another video how I feel about old people. Old people are simply people. They were once young, and guess what? They were out terrorizing people, victimizing people that they felt were weaker than them. So I'm not going to come to the defense of old people simply because they're old. There's a lot of old people that have done terrible things. I don't come to the defense of black people, women, men, gay people, Jewish people, Mexican, nothing. I don't come to the defense of any fucking label other than good person. That's the only label I deal with is good person. Now, you got some people on here make it seem like every good is subjective and all that bullshit. I'm not going to even go down that rabbit hole in this video. I can address that in another video. But good is not subjective. It's not subjective. So, yeah, like I said, I don't come to the defense of anybody that falls under a label that we deem innately victimized or the victims. There's a lot of black people that victimize people all the time. And then they want to hide behind the I'm black label. Same thing goes for men. Same thing goes for all sorts of individuals that fall under these particular labels. You know what I'm saying? So children, that's the only group of people that I have love for. And particularly infants, babies, because they really have like, they have no conscience at that point. They need to be molded, they need to be loved and cared for, and they can't help themselves. They're pure. But back to the haters, it's not hating to say, hey, that person is breaking into everyone's homes and stealing their wallets and stealing their social security cards and things like that. That's not hating. That's not, if someone fucking beats my ass or something, sneaks up on me, steals all my shit and everything, what the fuck? And I say something and I try to spread word and everybody else keeps spreading word about, like, hey, yo, this person, is that fucking hated? Come on, dude. And listen, like I said, the safety of children is everyone's business. If anyone that's watching this, that's a mother. I'm pretty sure you can vouch for when I say this. I say, okay, if you have a neighbor and you're considering that neighbor, watching over your kids, I wonder if they wouldn't mind watching my children or my baby. You would want to know if that neighbor has anything in their history that suggests they are an endangerment to children. You would want to know that, right? Of course you would. So to sit here and say it's none of everyone's business, and like Ari doesn't have to reveal anything, she opened the door. She opened the door. It's like she felt so comfortable revealing everything about all the people in her life. Oh, my grandmother is this way. My dad is that way. My ex is this way. She felt so comfortable throwing everybody else under the bus, putting everybody else on Front Street. Now she's on Front Street because a lot of things she says just ain't adding up. It's like things like, Ariana, explain, and you claim you're being transparent, but you're not. I mean, okay, if you want to address the son situation, fine. On your time, hope you're telling the truth and you really do that, but you got to understand, until you do that, you're going to be trolled and criticized until you do. But that being said, you're not even addressing other things like, please explain how you're taking video footage on the passenger side of your moving vehicle, but you're alone. Explain that, or explain why you changed your name. You legally changed your name to Ariana because you said you didn't like your family. You didn't want to be associated with what that meant to be Ronnie Ann Spur. You didn't want to carry on the family name. I'm getting so tongue-tied now. My brain is scattered. There's so many things to talk about. But you changed your name because you didn't want to carry on the family name. You didn't like the history behind your family or whatnot. And you didn't like the relationship you had with them. But you claim you really loved your grandfather. Like you really liked him. It seems like you had very fond memories of him. But you're named after your grandfather. So I don't get that. How could you hate the family name so much and want nothing to do with it, but yet you think so highly of your grandfather? You're named after him. So wouldn't you want to carry on the family name? It makes no sense. There's so many loopholes in the things that you say, and like, granted, I think some things you say are the truth, but then there's other times where I think you're just lying about stuff just maybe because you're scared, you just want to kind of save face. And I get it. It even ties back to the whole documentation about you basically lying about the situation with your kid to the doctors. They were saying the things you're saying didn't add up. There's no way your child could have felt like this or whatever, and you were exposed for lying. And I can say this, you were probably scared. And the thing is, a lot of people would have been scared in that situation too, because any situation that deals with the harm of a child, yeah, you're looking at some potential prison time. So the people that's browbeating you and stuff, I don't know, they got to ask themselves what would they have done in that situation, and maybe they would have told the truth. But there are situations where people will sort of kind of do whatever they feel they feel is necessary to cover their ass. And I understand from what it sounds like that was a situation with Ariana and the hospital visit. And it's really complicated, this whole thing, because you definitely want to, I'm not going to justify or think it's cool to lie about that, because at some point in time you got to realize when trying to cover your ass should not take precedence over the safety of your child and things like that. At some point you got to knock it off. I mean, yeah, we've all been there to an extent in terms of telling little lies and shit like that, but at some point you got to knock it off. And one of the unfortunate things about all of this is, I'm pretty sure from what it sounds like, Ari, she always wanted to be, I guess, famous. I could be wrong, but here it is. She's 32 years old. Boom. She pretty much gets very close to where she wants to be. To get that many subscribers and stuff on YouTube, that gets you a very big step closer to fame and doing movies or in acting and all this other stuff, and that was probably a dream of hers. And I always say this, whatever dreams you couldn't make happen in your 20s, you have another chance to make happen in your 30s. She's in her early 30s, and boom, she finally, she gets a huge platform, but now she's plagued with a lot of things she refused to address in her past. and it's caught up to her. And the thing is, she won't really be able to take that step towards a new life, a life that she wants until she addresses these issues, And the thing is, I get it. There are times in our lives where distancing ourselves from problematic situations is the best solution. Sometimes we have to distance ourselves from toxic or negative environments. For example, if you're working a job that you don't like and you're being harassed and things like that, hey, if you're in the position, quit, just leave. And I understand not everyone's in a position to do that, but you kind of get where I'm going with this. If you're dating someone and they're making you miserable and you haven't done anything to them or whatnot, leave. There's situations where you might be getting bullied out of school, and if you can transfer schools, maybe that's the best option. That's not running. Sometimes just distancing yourself from these situations is the best option. But when you're the cause of these problems, when you're creating these problems, you don't get the luxury of just running away. And that's what you're essentially doing, Ari, is you're running away. You're constantly running, and there's a lot of irony behind you trying to convince people that you've changed in things, because it's just looking like you're the same old Ariana. And it's interesting because you talked about your dad, right? It doesn't even register in your brain that you're acting just like him. A lot of the things people have said about you, you're kind of showing through your videos and you don't even realize it. I remember I was on the fence about your grandmother in my first video. Because I get it. I understand how some old people, they can be horrible people. But now, after kind of seeing the way things have unfolded, I bet any amount of money that your grandmother was one of the very few people that told you like it was. She was one of the very few people that told you what you needed to hear. And that's probably why you clash with her a lot. Because, in that affidavit, your grandfather said, and I want to touch up on this, your personality, because it was a lot of things I want to touch up on. But to comment on your personality, I don't think you're a bad person. I don't think this Ronnie Ann Spur is the type that'll purposely take a baby and throttle it and smash his head. I don't believe that. And even your grandfather didn't believe that, because in that affidavit, while he did say you were irresponsible with your son on 3 different occasions, prior to the ultimate bad occasion of, the skull fracture incident, he said he loves you a lot and that he knows you mean well with the kid. He knows you love the kid, So I don't think, and I sense that too, I don't think you're the type that'll deliberately hurt your child. I think the biggest issue with you is you're very irresponsible and very absent-minded, and you can see that in your videos. If you look at it, how many times have we seen her not wear her seatbelt? I remember this one video, she couldn't even find her car. It's like little things I noticed in his videos is like, come on, a lot of absent-mindedness and things like that. And I don't want to come down on you too hard, because everybody lots of people kind of talked about little aspects of your story in you that they can see themselves in. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to reveal what aspects about myself I can relate with in terms of you and I relate to in that way. But there are some things about you that I can even relate to. I'm not going to say what they are and things like that. But I think the biggest difference between you and I is I'm much more self-aware. I know where my weaknesses are. I know I know how to stay out of situations that I know will be a very big problem for me. And I think that's the difference between you and I. I have certain things. It's like I know this. Some people can classify it as a weakness, but what I always say, a weakness is something it's only a weakness if it's relevant to the things you want in life. It's only a character flaw or a weakness if it's hindering you achieving what you want in this world. Now, I got to be careful how I say that, because you got some people that'll interpret that as, you can be as much of an asshole or a piece of shit as you want as long as you get what you want in this world. That's not what I'm saying either. You still want to have ethics to you. But veer off back to what I was saying, the biggest difference between you and I is I'm self-aware. I know not to put myself in certain situations. Whereas you, if you look at your rap sheet, it's the same old type of bullshit. And I understand there are certain things that are habits in all of our natures. You know what I mean? Even myself, there are certain things that's kind of like, what the fuck, pariah? Why you keep on doing that? You know what I'm saying? But I don't have any particular habits that'll really, really harm me in a major way. You know what I'm saying? My habits, even my more or less bad habits, if you will, you know, they won't result in me being in prison. They won't result in me, like, I've never been arrested for anything. You know, and that's another thing. You know, a lot of these people, they've been calling the people that have been criticizing you hypocrites. Well, everybody has a past. Everybody's got a past. Like, no, fuck off. Everybody does not have a past. Because I know usually people that say that, they're just trying to justify a whole bunch of fucked up shit. Listen, I don't have a past of scarring people. I don't have a past of hurting people. Yes, yeah, I'm not perfect. But nobody in my past can ever say I've damaged them in any way. Unless they fuck with me. For you fuck with me, I'm coming after your heart. Seriously. I'm coming after whatever I feel will hurt you the most. But other than that, no one can just say I just victimized them randomly. Everyone does not have a past. Okay? That being said, I have friends that have been arrested, you know what I'm saying? Or I have had friends that been arrested because of, you know, these days, the more I navigate through this thing called life, the less I want to deal with people. But even in my current stage of life, I have certain individuals that I'm more or less cool with and stuff. And some of these individuals, yes, they have criminal records, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I know people that have pasts, but I don't associate myself with people that run from these pasts. I don't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't deal with a lot of people in general. You know, Misanthrope. I gotta keep reinstating that, restating that, not reinstating that. I gotta keep restating that. But I don't deal with people that run from their past. You know, so all this is just in the past. And plus, I want to say this too. Certain things in our past, you know. They kind of, what's the right word? I'm getting so tongue-tied and my brain scattered because there's so many aspects of the story I want to touch up on. Certain things in people's past, they can show up in a person's future. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain habits don't die, if you will. You know what I'm saying? All right, for example, I'm much better at giving examples and analogies. Say, for instance, I haul off and just smack a girl. Just smack her in broad daylight, or even worse, punch her, right? Guess what people are going to call me? They're going to call me a woman beater. They're going to call me a woman beater, right? Now, I could be, 10 years removed from that incident, and guess what? Anybody that knows about that situation, what are they going to call me? Woman beater! That's right, they're gonna call me a woman beater. Pariah kamikaze. He hits women, you know, he beats the fuck out of women. You know, that's what they're gonna say. I can be like, no, that's in the past. I'm a changed man. Everybody wanna hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, so certain things, and I'm not trying to say it's a good thing, but certain things in people's past should hold some sort of bearing over current situations, especially if these are bad situations that a person is in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, certain things you can kind of leave in the past, and other times you gotta, hey, let's bring this up in the past. This person did this, and it's looking pretty similar to the past. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. What else did I want to touch up on? Yeah, okay, and you know, I mentioned earlier about a lot of communities being pissed off and how people are basically jumping over you over the simplest stuff. I mean, the problem now is, like, you have situations where women and men that have been scarred and damaged in their life, they have all this baggage. They're judging you based on the baggage that they have. You know, I've seen videos of ladies talking about, oh my God, she reminds me of my ex-husband. You're a narcissist. You're a pathological liar because my ex was like that. And I suffered 10 years and he did this to me. He was such a narcissist. Oh my God. Whoa. You see, it's to the point now where you're being judged based on everybody else's negative experiences with other people in their lives. You know, this lady that was fucked over by her ex and hurt by her ex, she's judging you and saying you're just like her ex. You know what I'm saying? And she's not in the right frame of mind to realize that narcissism and all these things, it's a spectrum. You know what I mean? And just because you, on the surface, it may look like you share certain characteristics between her and her ex, you are not her ex. You know what I'm saying? And there's been so many women that's just trying, it's like self-fulfilling prophecies. Everything you do, Ari, people are trying to say that, oh, you're this way because my ex did this, and my ex used to wash his hands for 10 seconds, and you wash your hands for 10 seconds, and all narcissist people wash their hands for 10 seconds. It's like every tiny little thing they're running with. And and they're referencing their bad experiences, and they're throwing you into the category of all those people that have given them these bad experiences. It's a shame, but again, you brought all of this on yourself. Oh yeah, and by the way, if anybody drops a comment like, men are only following this story because she's hot, like, yo, I'm removing your fucking comment. Miss me with them stupid ass comments. Listen, if following a person and talking about them was like based purely on how hot they were, then there's plenty of other women on YouTube I can be making videos about. Alright? So it can't, just hotness? There's plenty of fucking hot girls on YouTube, you fucking idiot. What part of the whole complexity of this story do you not understand? It's not just, some hot girl. This is a girl who pulled at the heartstrings of many people, said she was homeless, she's lonely, all right? Some ex is trying to kill her. Oh, turns out her name is Ronnie Spur. Turns out, she's got a lengthy criminal past. Turns out, she's from Arkansas. Turns out, man, her kid almost died in her custody. This is a soap opera. It's like a soap opera. It's intriguing. It's intriguing. It's like a story. So of course people are intrigued. You know, people ain't into this story because she's hot. Hey, maybe you got those occasional thirst balls, but over the most part, it's the whole storyline that has people talking about this. You know, and rightly so. Rightly so. Because, I gotta say this too. And there's a lot of people's like, everybody's here, they're just trying to grow their channels and get views. Fuck off. And so what? Listen, if a person can get lots of views off of controversy and negative publicity, why can't people get views off of talking about it or exposing this person or whatnot? You're damn right. People getting views off this shit. But that doesn't mean people's opinions on this issue are authentic. If you ask me what my favorite color is, I'm going to tell you my favorite color. If you ask me what my favorite color is and say you'll pay me for it, I'm going to still tell you my favorite color. And on top of that, I can also get paid for it too. Either way, I'm going to tell you my favorite color. And I'm not going to lie about my favorite color. My sentiments on this whole story are my sentiments. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, maybe people can kill two birds with one stone and grow their channels by talking about this girl. And she grew her channel, pretty much with negativity and shit. All this controversy. Fuck, man. Maybe I should just go and throw a baby out of a fucking window. Get some negative press right there. Leave town, change my name. I said all of this in another video. Leave town, change my name. Go on YouTube, pretend like I'm this sweet, loving guy, in distress, and then, it probably won't work for me because, who gives a fuck about a guy in the struggle, a guy suffering and shit, But I could try. You know what I mean? I could just do all this fucked up shit and then hopefully it gets out and has everybody talking and brings a lot of negative press to my channel, and now I'm getting rich off that. That's pretty much what's happening to Ari. That's pretty much what's happening. And now you're telling me people can't, talk about it? See, this whole story, it's not just about a beautiful girl blowing up on YouTube. It touches up on so many things that are wrong with society. Pretty privilege and how pretty people can just get away with anything. You know what I'm saying? scammers and how scammers can just get rich purely from being lucky. You know, it talks about how people are able to deflect responsibility from just getting lucky, getting a lot of money. It touches up on so many things. It's beyond a person just getting successful on YouTube and hating on them. You know what I mean? It's bigger than that. See, this All In with Ari story, this is a story that should be talked about even when cameras are off. I've talked about this whole case, you know, it's like a case, you know, it's like a story. I've talked about this with some people off camera. Now, if I'm talking about it off camera, obviously I'm not getting no kind of views for it. But these are issues that need to be talked about regardless. Whether a person is getting views for it and growing their channel or whatnot, whatever. If a firefighter runs into a burning building to save someone, are you going to shame the firefighter? Are you going to say, oh, you're just doing it for money? Well, yeah, he's doing it for money. It's his job. But guess what? He's still doing it. He's still doing the right thing. It's the right thing to do to expose any sort of scams and deceptions going on in this world. And like I said in another video, you can't stop them all. Sometimes good things happen to bad people. Good things happen to good people. Bad people get away with it. Sometimes you can't stop it all. But whenever you see an opportunity to stop it, go for it. And don't let up. And recently I saw one guy, he's all like, oh, you guys, you're stalking her. It's beyond exposure. You guys are stalking her. You just keep making videos. You're stalking. It's not exposure. It's stalking. Yo, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something. When bad stuff is going on, you never let up. When someone's doing something objectively wrong, you never let up. You keep applying the pressure. You keep applying that pressure on them. All this shit. And he's all like, and he's saying things like, oh, you guys, you need to get a life. You need to get a life. But bro, first of all, I'm pretty sure I got way much more going on in my life than you. You know what I'm saying? Dude, not talking about Ariana or not making videos about her doesn't mean you have any more of a life than people that are posting about her. There's probably people that have made 30 posts and like videos about her that probably got more stuff going on in their life than you do. And you know, it's interesting, you know, so many people have been coming after, and what's really interesting too is to see the change in the comments, you know. Just the total shift in energy. It went from all positivity. Oh my God, you can do it. You're such an inspiration. Oh, we're here for you. Here, have some money. Love you, watermelon. Until one thing came out. One thing came out. Her name's Ronnie Spur. See, when I first saw that, I blew it off. I was like, you know, there's a lot of weirdos on the internet. They say all kinds of weird, kind of random stuff. But then it kept happening again. Her name's Ronnie Spur. She's from Arkansas. And then more stuff. She has a kid. She's been arrested. Pop, pop, pop. Then holy sh. And then you see finally the comments, the energy in the comments. It went from 100% positivity to like 50-50. People saying, man, she's a child abusing mother. She's no good to, oh, leave her alone. She doesn't deserve this. Da, 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 da. You know, it went from 50-50 all the way to 90% negative. It's like, holy shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these people are talking about her and, you know, saying she's X, Y, and Z. Like, my God. And to be honest, you know, to talk about her seizure, I can imagine maybe all of this negativity having an effect on her mind, body, and spirit. You know, people fall out for those reasons too, just from being stressed out. You know? I'm not saying that, you know, all this negativity is the reason, but, you know, she has said, you know, it's definitely has taken a toll on her. She has expressed that, so you never know. That could be a possibility behind that whole seizure as well. And the thing is, too, it's been documented that she saw mental clinics, like she has had legitimate mental health issues in the past. I mean, she's got cuts on her wrist. She's threatened suicide. She held a gun to her head and stuff like that. So the people that saying it's something wrong with her, well, you could be right. Maybe something legitimately is wrong with her. You know what I'm saying? For all we know, the things that she's been caught for in terms of her rap sheet and all this other thing, maybe that's only the tip of the iceberg of what she's really done in her life or what she's really like. I don't know, Like I said, though, I'm going to stick to this notion that I don't think she's a bad person. I don't. I just think she's very, you know what I think? I think she was a young mom that wasn't ready to have a kid. Now, some people may say, well, 23 is a legitimate adult. It's well past 21. And yeah, it is. It's not like she was a teen mom. But a lot of people would argue that 23 is relatively young. If you look at the nuclear family, or however you pronounce it, the ideal age to have a kid in most people's eyes is maybe like late 20s, maybe early 30s. Most people say early 20s is still a time where, people are quote unquote selfish. They want to live their own life. And that's what it sounds like when I hear about how she was. She was leaving the baby with her grandparents and stuff like that. And not saying it's okay, but that's all behavior of a young, irresponsible person that hasn't quite that isn't quite ready to let go of their independence and freedom, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, there's no doubt in my mind that she didn't know the first thing about taking care of an infant. And it's not a very intuitive thing for a lot of people. That's why they have child care classes and courses, because it's not an intuitive thing for everybody to know how to properly take care of a child. And if it's true what this thing about her having mental illnesses and she's drinking and things like that, it doesn't help that she was going through all of this while also having a kid. And drugs can really mess you up. No matter how sweet of a person you are, you can do things while on these drugs and have you thinking, my God, what the heck, why the hell did I do that? And a lot of things, I wouldn't be surprised if she was on drugs, to be honest. Like, when I say drugs, I don't mean just like the vaping shit like that, or smoking weed. And by the way, as y'all can see, I like to smoke me a little bit of vape as well. You know what I mean? But that, I'm not even going to sit here and jump on the bandwagon and say that's why she's done the things she's done. Because listen, man, there's a lot of people that smoke weed, and are perfectly fine. They out here taking care of their kids, doing the right thing too. So all you people that's against vaping and weed smoking, fuck off. There's probably a lot more successful people than you that smoke hella weed and way more responsible than you. That being said, in terms of drugs that can really, really fuck you up, I would throw alcohol in there. I don't drink. I always want to, no, not for me. But I would throw alcohol in there, and I would also throw cocaine and heroin and things like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if she has a history of, taking these drugs. There's this stigma that she doesn't look homeless. She doesn't look like she's on drugs, we gotta start addressing the stigmas of homelessness. That's another aspect of this whole story that's interesting. It touches up on stigmas associated with homelessness and drug usage. There are lots of people that are on drugs that you would never be able to tell that they're on drugs. I don't know if anyone is familiar with The Real World. It was a very popular reality TV show back in the day. And there's one season, Real World San Diego. There was a participant on this season by the name of Joey Kovar. And I'll try to summarize this. Joey Kovar is dead. I believe he died of a drug overdose. Now, the interesting thing about Joey is, much like Ari, he didn't look like he was ever homeless, but he went through periods of homelessness, and he didn't look like he was on drugs. He was a very good-looking guy, handsome, muscular, shining smile. His birthday was one day before Ari's. He was born on July 24th. She's born on July 25th. He was a few years older than her, but in terms of the month, he was one day before her. But similar to Ari, glowing energy, charismatic, but then turns out, boom, full-blown drug addict. he would do things on the show. It's like, man, Joey, are you crazy? But then once he'd sober up, he'd be the nicest guy ever. You know, in his right state of mind, he was certainly anything but a piece of shit. You know, he's certainly anything but the type of person that wanted to harm anybody. But man, when you're just, bam, shooting up and overdose drinking like that, you know, the monster comes out. Now, some people, they make the argument that all these drugs and alcohol does is just reveal what you really are on the inside. You listen, man, I think to an extent that is true. You know what I mean? That I wouldn't say to an extent, that, you know, to an extent, I would say to a very large degree that is true. But at the same time, I don't want to sit here and say, because there's a lot of people that get drunk that don't do crazy shit either. But nonetheless, one common denominator amongst alcoholics and drug addicts is when they're really on these drugs heavy, they're not responsible. That's the common denominator. Maybe not all of them are out bashing people's heads in. Some of them are probably simply running away from their homes and just getting high and kind of ditching their responsibilities. And I can see that probably being the case with Ari. And yeah, I definitely think Ariana falls into this category, but I want to reiterate the fact that, you know, homelessness does not have just one face. Addiction does not have just one face. Addiction looks like all types of things. You know, I recently saw a video of a homeless couple doing an interview, and these people, they didn't look to be homeless, and a lot of the commenters were actually suspicious of their story as well. And it turned out they were young, pretty young too. They were in their early 30s, and it turns out the woman, the girl, who was very pretty or whatnot, everyone was calling her pretty, and she was blind and this and that. She and the guy she was dating was very vague. They were very vague about their situation and why they're homeless. But eventually, a comment got on the post and basically exposing that girl too. The commenter revealed the girl's name. It turns out the girl is an alcoholic. I think even a drug user. She was married, but you know, she cheated on the husband, so she's no longer with them, and she abandoned her kid as well. So, you know, you have another situation like this where people are being vague about the reasons for why they're homeless and things like that. And the interesting thing about that video is, in the video, the interviewer asked the two, he asked them, are you two using any particular substances and things like that? And they both said no. Where it turns out that girl was using substances, and obviously she's still using them because she's around here somewhere. I don't know if she's locked up, but the point I'm trying to make is homelessness, addiction, all these things do not have just one face, you know. And to bring this back to Ariana, I think the story is clear now. I think the story's clear, you know. She got into a lot of bad things. She got into a lot of shit in Arkansas. She got into a lot of bad stuff in Arkansas, built the little rep as a misfit, and she wanted out, you know. She wanted to kind of hightail it out there and start a new life, you know. And a lot of people are wondering, well, man, why would you go to a big old place like California? What I think she picked Cali because Cali is obviously it's a very big state, you know, and it's perfect for anybody that wants to start fresh. Big state, no one knows who you are. It's a lot easier to blend in. Yeah, you know, as opposed to these like little small towns, and I think she said she's from like the countryside, small town where everybody knows everybody, and it's a lot easier to get spotted and things like that. Should go to New York, California, or any other bigger cities or states out there. You can kind of keep a low profile. You know, nobody knows who you are and things like that. So that's why I think she picked California. And now she's been living her life as Ariana, you know, which isn't a long time. You know, she spent the majority of her life as Ronnie Ann Spur. You know, 1 year as Ariana, that's not a long time at all. So it makes you wonder, like, man, has she really changed? I mean, 1 year, you're a lot different from who you are in like a year. I don't know about that. You know, I think she just kept on repeating the same patterns in Arkansas. And she wanted a way out. And the thing is, you can't escape who you are. And that's another thing. She's been making a lot of these like kind of cryptic, backhanded community posts. And I think that kind of irritated a lot of people to it. In one of the posts, she said something like, the more spiritual I get, and this is paraphrasing, the more spiritual I get, the less I want. Basically, the less she wants out of life. She wants to live a quieter life. And the thing about it is, even you can call yourself trying to live in the limelight or trying to live a quiet, low-key lifestyle, but you can't run away from who you are, no matter what. No matter if you're in the limelight or you're in the shadows, who you are will stay the same. You can't run from that. So she can call herself trying to, let's just say she has enough of YouTube. YouTube just buries her, and she's just through with it. She tries to just go off the grid. Well, all of her patterns, all of her habits, those will stay with her. So she's just going to go into some little quiet, isolated town and just do the same crap over and over again. And it's back to square one, or just running around. You can't escape who you are. And then, she's making all these backhanded community posts kind of deflecting from the bottom line. I remember in one post she said something like, powerful people don't need to be loud to be heard, and things like that. It's like, okay, what's she trying to say, Ronnie? That you're better than other quiet people? What about all the quiet people that don't have power? The ones that need to be heard, but they don't even have the power to be heard. You're better than them? Power isn't exclusive to quiet people and loud people. It's similar to what I said in another video. Listen, bad things happen to good people, bad things happen to bad people. Some people just get lucky out here. Sometimes quiet bad people get lucky and get power, while quiet good people don't get power. And then you have loud good people, you have loud bad people. You know what I mean? It really doesn't matter. That's why I'm a firm believer in expressing yourself authentically. Because at the end of the day, good things happen to bad people, good things happen to good people. Doesn't really matter. So express yourself authentically and try to express that energy in a constructive way. You just don't want to be like expressing yourself any kind of way without trying to establish some sort of ethics or morality behind the things that you do, or you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but hopefully I touched up on most of the things that I wanted to say. I'm going to try to wrap this up already. I know I'm kind of scattered-minded because there are so many things I want to touch up on with regard to this topic, and hopefully she'll talk about her name. That's another thing too. A lot of people are there talking about, because they're trying to defend the fact that she didn't reveal her real name to people. And some people are saying, well, on YouTube, a lot of people, don't use their real names and this and that. And like, dude, okay, it's no secret that there are YouTubers using all sorts of handles and YouTube names, but that's for branding purposes. You know what I mean? Like, okay, for example, I think it's pretty obvious. I'm not walking around known as the Dark Fucking Hermit. You know what I'm saying? Some people, YouTube channels are for branding purposes. It's not like a lot of people are out here selling themselves as vegan gains. He's just a random YouTuber that came to mind. Vegan gains, I'm pretty sure it's obvious that his real name ain't Vegan fucking Gains. All right? That was the name of his channel because he's trying to promote something. You know what I mean? That's like the theme of his channel or whatnot. Whereas Ariana, the way she introduced herself, she introduced herself as if that was her real name. This is my deep, this is my story. This is my personal life. Here, guys, help me. That's how she introduced herself. So don't miscontext the situation. Yeah, there's no doubt about it that spiritually I am not of this planet, but I was given an earthly, fleshly body, so I have to, as they say, do as the Romans do, But I think it's pretty obvious. My earthly name isn't Pariah Kamikaze. Most definitely, no doubt about it, I am Pariah. That's who I am at the core. But in order to navigate amongst this world, my name ain't Pariah fucking Kamikaze. That's not what the earthlings know me as. And be honest about other things like why you stole from Walmart and things like it. Like she blamed it on anxiety. It's like, who steals because of anxiety? Listen, if I have anxiety, if a person has anxiety, the last thing they're trying to do is go into big ass Walmart and steal some shit and run the risk of being caught and arrested and being stared at amongst a whole bunch of people. That's the last thing you want to do if you got anxiety. You ain't trying to be arrested in public and have a whole bunch of people looking at you and gawking at you at Walmart. So like to say you stole a candy bar, from Walmart, it makes absolutely no sense. And people are willing to forgive. Listen, a lot of people that are criticized, they've been through a lot of shit too. So that's why people are a lot more willing to forgive you than you think. I think she's a lot more afraid of what could happen if she was just very transparent about a lot of things. You know, I've been in situations, like for example, stealing or whatnot. I've been in situations where people have stolen from me. There's 2 situations in particular where I actually found out who stole from me. In one instance, I was at a store. And at this store, you had to put your bags and stuff, all your belongings, and keep it up at the front of the store, you know, before you walk through the store and things like that. Well, a long story short, I ended up seeing a kid, like a teenager. He was going into my bag and other people's bags and just kind of randomly like feeling through stuff and taking stuff out. Well, I actually saw him from kind of like from a distance, and he was doing it like in a slick manner where, you know, he wouldn't be caught. Obviously, he thought he wouldn't be caught. But to make a long story short, I ended up seeing his hand in my belongings and stuff. And I immediately walked over towards him, and I can tell he saw me, obviously. And he tried to kind of take off a little bit, but I kind of walked real fast and stopped. I said, "Oh, dude, relax. I see what you're doing. I'm not going to report you to the police or anything like that. Next time," and I said more to him. I can't remember word for word what I said, but it ended on the note of, the next time you ever want something, just ask. Ask me, man. And the reason I said that, and I was trying to be understanding with this kid, because I had seen this kid before. He's actually been on the streets kind of wandering around. I could tell he was homeless. You know, you can look by his clothes, and I saw him sleeping around, you know, outside and stuff. So I understood his situation, you know, and he's a teenager, and again, who knows why he's out there. Maybe he did something wrong, or in the case of me, but a lot of times, I don't know. I try to give the benefit of the doubt to people, especially if I see these people are young, you know. And there was another situation, I was actually in school, you know, doing the whole college thing, because again, you know, I gotta blend in this planet, and one of these things you gotta do is do the whole schooling thing, the college thing, the working thing, right? So I was in college, and I had a bike. It was a really good bike, and I rode my bike to this study hall, and I was in a rush because around this time I was preparing for a test. Make a long story short, I parked the bike, but I forget to lock the bike. All right, sure enough, you know, hours or so pass, I come back out, my bike's gone. Motherfucker. All right, so I said, whatever, dude. I'm not going to go to a police station and report a bike or whatever. Fuck that, you know. As far as I'm concerned, my bike's gone. Anyway, several days later, I'm walking outside, and it's dark outside. I'm walking on like this bike path. And next to the bike path, there's like an open field, but there's some trees and stuff out there as well. But the trees are kind of close to the bike path and stuff. I'm on the path. It's dark, but I can still see that under a tree, someone is sleeping there. Someone is resting there. And sure enough, I see my bike there. Now, the person that's sleeping there, I see they have a bag and they have sheets and stuff. And obviously, this person is homeless, you know? Now, I'm thinking to myself, holy shit. And I can tell, even though it was dark, I knew for a fact that was my bike. It was like light enough to where I can make out my bike. I know what my bike looks like, even in the dark. So I'm thinking, what the fuck? Dude, this guy's got... Now, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, you know what? I could just walk over there while this guy ain't even looking and just, you know, just snuff him out right there. You know, sucker punch him, get my shit back, stomp him out. I can do anything. I'm a fast motherfucker, and I've had to do this kind of stuff in my life before, you know, kind of run up on people and hit people. I don't want to go into those kind of stories, but I'm a fast motherfucker. If I see somebody, he ain't catch me, he ain't seeing shit. I'm like lightning. I could have just stole off this guy, stomped him out, did whatever, and got my shit back. But I did not do that. I didn't do it because, you know what? I thought to myself, all right, this person, obviously they're homeless, and I actually didn't pay that much for the bike. I got it from like a pawn shop. It was like $75 to $90, something like that. And I was thinking, man, dude, you know, if I was in that situation, it'd be nice if I had a bike too. So I just ended up walking, continuing on, and just said whatever. I didn't confront the dude. I didn't sneak up on the dude and do whatever I could have. I could have got away with it too, man. There wasn't no fucking cameras out there. It was, you know, this was like a little D1 college campus and stuff, and where we're situated at, there weren't no cameras right there. So I really could have just got my shit back, no problem, stomped that motherfucker out, and it was dark. He wouldn't have even known what hit him. But that, you know, I want to be, I guess you could say, empathetic in that situation. Now, you know, there's theft, and then there's what I consider to be petty theft, you know, and little petty theft and things like that I can kind of overlook. Now, if you're stealing social security cards and wallets and things like that, or if I feel like or if I know you're in a situation where you don't even need what it is you're stealing, you're just doing it purely to be an asshole, yeah, fuck off. I'll report you. I gotta do whatever I gotta do to, you know, get back at you. You know, you're not just gonna be stealing shit just for the fuck of stealing shit. Come on. But to bring this back to the Ari situation, when it comes to even things like theft, there are contexts in which people will be understanding of your circumstances and why you stole. You know? Like I said, I've caught people stealing from me, and I've just kind of said, you know what? Have it, man. You know what I mean? Now, if it was anything crazier, then I might have to say something. But I try to be as understanding and lenient, because when it comes to crimes, there's always kind of crimes, and there's gray areas and things like that. Now, the situation with her kid, that's the one thing that's really kind of screwing her over, because there isn't any sort of context that can justify why her kid ended up with a skull fracture and things like that. You know, the only thing she can say is, hey, I messed up. I was negligent, or however the heck you pronounce it, negligent or neglectful. And, you know, it was irresponsible, immature. And I'm sorry, you know, that's the only thing she can literally say. I don't think she would intentionally hurt a child or harm a child, but it happened. And just, she's got to kind of elaborate on that and express remorse and just try to move on from there. You know, but the whole dipping and dodging and then trying to do things to kind of deflect them and make it seem like you're such a good person. Like, she's talking about the homeless. I really care about people. I gave person a blanket, a magical carpet or turtle shell blanket, whatever the heck she said she gave that woman. Nobody cares about that, because that looks like you're just deflecting and things like that. You know, and it's interesting because she took out the whole homeless awareness thing in her channel description. And people are saying, like, in that, she doesn't realize that kind of looks like deceitful. It's like, oh, you just put that in there just so you can blow up, and now that you got all these subscribers and a huge audience, you're taking that out. Now you just want to sing and dance in your car for views now. It's so ridiculous. But I will say this, like, it's kind of understandable why a person really wouldn't want to dedicate much of their life to helping the homeless. And this may sound controversial, but the homelessness is like, I know that there's many reasons why people are homeless. Yes, there are some people that are homeless that are, you know, are just down in their luck. Bad things happen. But then you have situations where people are homeless. I'll refer to the other couple that I talked about earlier, the blonde-haired woman. She actually came from a pretty well-to-do life. She's homeless because she just was a screw-up. She messed up a lot of things in her life. So basically, if you're going to dedicate yourself to your life to trying to help so many homeless people, you're going to be living a very miserable, stressed, turbulent life. You know, you're going to be constantly dealing with people with lots of baggage, drug problems, people constantly telling all types of stories. You don't know what's true and what's not true. And that's a pretty rough thing to deal with, to be trying to take care of all homeless people. And I think she knows that. You know, I'm more of a case-by-case type of a person. You know, I don't classify myself as a humanitarian. I don't think that's realistic. I don't think it's realistic to be able to help every person on the planet, or to even want to. Why is there so many of these people on this planet I wouldn't even want to help? You know, so I can't even classify myself as a humanitarian. Why would I want to help people that I think are genuinely shit individuals? Why would I want to do that? And I think Ari, she knows that's a heavy burden to carry, to try to, you know, and it's feet to try to live up to, is, you know, homeless awarenessness and, you know, and taking care of all these homeless people. I mean, dude, she couldn't even take care of one child. You know what I mean? Which I would make the argument that taking care of one child is a lot easier than trying to attend to a whole bunch of homeless people. You know, that's way more difficult, you know, because, you know, I don't know, maybe people will make the argument that it's not so difficult. I don't know. But the point is, she couldn't even handle that responsibility, you know. So now she wants to go out and take care of a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of mental illnesses and various baggage and whatnot. Get out of here. Wasn't gonna happen. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say with regard to All In with Ari and the whole story. You know, I really do plan on this being my last lengthy video about her, unless something that really intrigues me comes up or whatnot. Because at this point, it's pretty much the, you know, lather, rinse, repeat type of deal. You know, she does something, she posts something, everyone else says she's a liar. She posts something, oh, she's lying. She posts something, well, they poke holes. I mean, you know, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying. So unless, I don't know, she finally addresses her son, you know, and she says something that intrigues me, that I feel like I want to respond to that or something, or comment on that, then I might make a video about that. Or if someone tries to chop up and nitpick anything I've said in this video, I might comment or something or post about it. But over the most part, I don't plan on really making any elaborate videos about her anymore, because what's the point, you know? And I just think, you know, I'm gonna just restate what I already said, that if she wants to redeem herself, she just has to, you know, just be very transparent and open, and start jumping on things right out of the gates. You know, when you let things, you know, just kind of sit and foster and you don't respond to them, you're just letting people grab the pen and paper and write their narratives. Now everyone's publishing their narratives about you. Everyone's publishing their narratives. You know, you don't want to do that, you know. And if you came clean and finally just owned up to everything, you'd be surprised. I think she'd be surprised at how many people would be on her side again, you know. Now granted, there are always going to be those people that are going to hate her no matter what. She lost custody of her kid, fuck her, she's the worst human being ever. You know, there's always going to be those people, you know. But I think those people will be far and few. I feel like there will be a lot more people that will just finally be like, hey, fine, you know, we get you now, we understand you now, you know. And I feel like that's the only thing that should really matter to her at this point, as well as what her son thinks, you know what I'm saying, you know, because, you know, she's thrown around the word hater even when people have given her constructive criticism. And it's almost like, you know, Ari, are you going to call your son a hater if he were to grow up and say the very things lots of people in these videos have said about you with regard to you not being responsible and things like that? Are you going to call your own son a hater? You know, think about that. You know, people are going to hate you no matter what in this world. I understand that. But when you're giving people a lot of valid reasons to kind of point the finger and finger wag, that's a different story, you know. So all I gotta say, man, Ariana, please do the right thing. And once you do the right thing, I think you'll be all right. And for what it's worth, I think a lot of people are rooting for your redemption. I think a lot of people are rooting for it, including me. You know, I'd love to see a redemption story. You know, because like I said earlier, I've repeated a lot of things in this lengthy video, but I don't think you're a bad person. I don't think you're the type that'll, you know, that seeks to maliciously harm someone. I don't think you're the type that, you know, finds joy and pleasure off of viciously hurting people and attacking people, you know. And I've met individuals like this. I've seen individuals that thoroughly enjoy hurting people, harming people, you know, harassing people. So I can tell the difference. I definitely can tell the difference. But I just think you need to, you know, come clean about a lot of stuff, you know. And even with your channel, I know a lot of people noticed that you changed the description. It's no longer about homeless awareness, you know. And like I mentioned this earlier. Listen, I don't blame you if you don't want to, you know, dedicate your life to helping the homeless and all that. You know, hey, don't, you know, that's a tough thing, you know, as is. You know, I believe you when you said you posted that original video because you were feeling down and you just wanted someone to talk to. You wanted people to talk to. And once your channel just blew up, you just got so happy, you know, and you just started sharing everything with so many people, not realizing how the way you're moving could be flipped on you. especially when you have the history that you have, the criminal past and things like that. And I don't think you took any of that into consideration. You were just so happy, like most people. Most people would have been happy that their channel just blew up like that. So of course, people, and I think that's why it looks like a scam with you in particular, because of your background. You talked about all these things, homelessness awareness, and then all of a sudden your channel blows up, and now you're gallivanting around, dancing around and stuff. The way that looks to viewers is you scammed them, you lied, and it doesn't help that you changed the description of your channel to just jamming in your car and talking our heads off and stuff. And you need to explain that. I think you just kind of do things, and and like I said, I don't think you deliberately went out of your way to scam anybody. It's just your channel blew up and you ran with it. You're taking advantage of it, like most people would. Who wouldn't take advantage of whole bunch of subscribers and views and monetization? A lot of people would. But I think, and the thing is too, lots of YouTubers undergo changes in the themes of their channels. It's normal, a lot of YouTubers do it, and particularly small YouTubers. But with you in particular, you're in an awkward spot because you blew up so fast that people are seeing your channel growth and the modifications happen in real time. Whereas if you were a smaller YouTuber with no name and no one knew your history, you can probably lay low and kind of do little changes to your channel, the themes of your channel or the content or whatnot, and no one will really make a big deal about it. But the fact that you blew up the way that you did, and all of your personal business just kind of was plastered out there, and it's your fault. It's your fault that a lot of this happened because you opened the door. But with all of that into consideration, that's why people are kind of looking at you sideways. And that's why when you do try to change the content or change the description of the theme of your channel, that's just something else. Oh, see, she lied. I just think you're just trying to do something to kind of move past it all, and you probably think, all right, maybe if I just stop mentioning the homelessness thing and just try to change to something else, people will leave you alone. And I see where you're trying to go with that train of thought. But again, it goes back to square one with all of the baggage and back in the story, the criminal past and the custody thing with your son and all these things. You just can't up and just change the theme of your channel like that. If you want to do that, you steal. It goes back to the original thing everyone keeps mentioning. Before you do any of this stuff, before you can really move on, you have to start addressing things that people want to see you address. Otherwise, everything you do is just going to look like a lie, a scam, a deception. That's the way it is, And I think you've moved like this so long in your life that you're not used to pretty much having to address things head on. I think you're very impulsive, and you just kind of do things and then not realizing how it'll come across or end up in the long run, But I think this is important to mention as well. You can take a person that doesn't have a past at all. You can take a person that doesn't have a criminal history. People watching this right now may say, you may be looking at yourselves like, I'm a nice person. I've never hurt anyone. I've never hurt a fly. I constantly try to do the right thing. And why can't I win people over? Why doesn't it work for me? No matter what I do, I just can't seem to get a break. I'm a noble citizen. I'm a nice person. I'm a kind person. And that's how it is. No matter how nice, kind, honest, and forthright and noble you are, lots of people will still hate your guts. Doesn't matter if you have a criminal record or not. People will hate your guts regardless. Oh, how planet Earth is a strange place.